Good evening, Southeast Texas. Hope you're doing well on this Memorial Day. We'll take an in-depth look at the next 7 days. Last Friday when we last met, modeling showed very little rainfall over the area for Memorial Day. Unfortunately, that was not the case, courtesy of West Texas, as showers and storms formed out that way along the dry line, and upper level disturbances just steered them right on into our lap earlier today. So right now, are looking at, we'll call it partly sunny skies. Otherwise, here's the plan. We expect overnight showers and thunderstorms. Don't expect severe weather. There could be a small chance, and if it does go severe, which is probably unlikely, it would be wind and hail. So the rain is expected after about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, so you may be awakened by some thunder. Otherwise, active weather coming up as we head through, say, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And a weak front then pushes through our area early Friday. And then we get a little drier air mass. Not much, but a little drier air mass to move in just in time for the weekend. And the way it looks right now is that the weekend looks pretty good, with lows in the upper 60s to lower 70s and highs in the middle to upper 80s with ample sunshine. So some better weekend weather. Otherwise, as far as rainfall, we're in great shape compared to the rest of the state. Now, we could still use a little bit more, but they've got an exceptional drought from Austin, Hondo, back over towards Del Rio, and out in far west Texas. So they are certainly welcoming the rain, just not the severe weather that is ongoing west of Austin at this time, between Junction and Austin. Regardless, we could still use some, at least at the Southeast Texas Regional. They're down 3 inches since the beginning of March. Otherwise, pretty quiet here locally. Looking at some light showers along the coastline right now. And that's just the back edge of the rains that moved through earlier. They're now being dragged back to the north and east, and extensive cloud cover showing up. We rain cooled into the 70s to lower 80s at this time, and skies are clear back over to Conroe, Houston, and Huntsville at this time. But again, light stuff from Sabine Pass back over towards McFadden Beach and just offshore from High Island. Otherwise, that should be ending over the next hour or so. Rainfall amounts not too impressive, thankfully, as we picked up anywhere from nothing in parts of Orange County to some of the heaviest activity up towards Dam B, it looks like. Let's see how much it fell there. Just over an inch there. And over towards Liberty County, that's the heaviest activity. And some stripes of heavier rain near Kirbyville and also towards West Jefferson County. So most areas picked up less than an inch, and a few areas a little more than an inch. Otherwise, across the state, it's all eyes on what this activity over towards central Texas is going to do. Right now, they're under a tornado watch, and there are rotating thunderstorms. One confirmed tornado over towards west central Texas. And as you can see, that activity is likely to be steered right on in to our area. This activity is what I'm talking about. Now, it's probably going to weaken, but there's basically a disturbance over towards west Texas in the upper levels of the atmosphere. And that is going to be lifting off to the north and east, so that would likely steer this activity overnight into our area. Probably upwards of an inch, maybe 2 in the heavier cells as this moves on off towards the east. So very small chance of severe. The way it looks right now, 1, maybe 2 inches overnight. So as you can see, quite a bit of hail in this supercell that has already put down a tornado. This is now organizing into a line. Look how that is organizing from Dallas, just west of Waco, back off towards the southwest near Mason, Texas, and back over towards San Angelo. Now, this is radar imagery. This is what's going on right now across central Texas. So as we, did you see that? That's pretty impressive. So here's radar. Now I'm going to switch to the high-res modeling. Watch. Doing a real good job. So we have a pretty good confidence that this is going to develop into a line of showers and storms. So we'll put this into motion, and look how it organizes into a line. Goes right through Houston and right through southeast Texas as we head towards 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So it looks like a wet morning as you head back to work, and temperatures will likely be rain cooled into the 60s, upper 60s and lower 70s, but I can promise you it'll be more than a 40% coverage of showers and storms in the morning, and it looks like this rain will likely, if this modeling is correct, will likely last through at least mid-morning. And the rain cooling will get us into the upper 60s and lower 70s. Then we'll work on the clouds, and we may see some sun coming up tomorrow afternoon. If this materializes, then we will likely see temperatures into the upper 80s across southeast Texas. That all moves off towards the east. And then we'll wait for the next disturbance. So again, I was telling you in the upper levels of the atmosphere, very active pattern. You're looking at around 18,000 feet. This is the disturbance I was just pointing out over towards the West Texas that is organizing that shower and thunderstorm activity over towards west central Texas. So you see these dip in the upper atmosphere right there in those lines, those white lines. See that? This is what we call a short wave. See that? See how everything kind of dips down? That is not a long wave trough, but a short wave. So that trough, that short wave, is causing the shower and thunderstorm activity in central Texas, and as it heads off towards the north and the east, it will likely push those storms on into our area, we think, overnight. Probably after 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5 in the morning is when that will arrive. Then we'll wait for the next one. So we'll get a break tomorrow afternoon, some sun, and then you can see how the winds kind of out of the west-northwest on Wednesday night, but they're out of the southwest over Louisiana. So that is telling us there's another disturbance right there that could bring us another round of shower and thunderstorm activity coming up on Wednesday. And this is going to be the case right on through Thursday. This disturbance, which is a bona fide trough of low pressure, will bring a weak front into southeast Texas as we work on into early Friday morning. Now this is a weak front, but it is going to bring us a little lower humidity, we think, for the weekend. So that could knock low temperatures down into the upper 60s to lower 70s as this passes through. And with the drier air, may get a lot of sun coming up on Saturday. Then we got this disturbance coming in on Sunday. Right now, I've got a 10% coverage of showers in on Sunday, but it'll likely be dry and it'll likely be a cloud maker. So we'll go partly sunny on Sunday. But behind this, we get a northwest flow and a nice ridge of high pressure. See how everything goes up and over? That is a ridge of high pressure, and that means may not be a strong ridge of high pressure, but a ridge of high pressure will be over us as we head towards Monday. So hopefully that'll keep rain chances down. So on the Gulf tomorrow, looking at slightly choppy seas around 2 to 3 feet and a south wind at 10 to 15 knots. Look at water temperature. That's not good, 88 degrees. Otherwise, tonight we have an 80% coverage of showers and thunderstorms, but as you saw on modeling, it may be closer to 100% coverage. Again, 1, maybe 2 inches of rainfall, because I don't think this is going to sit around. And it looks like if we have any severe weather, and that's a big if, because I don't think that's going to happen, but if it does happen, we may get 1 or 2 cells that increase winds and may become severe because of winds or hail, because they got big hail over towards West Texas, and the sounding does support some hail across our area overnight. So after that rain comes through, our temperatures will drop into the upper 60s to lower 70s because of the rain cooling effect. But again, the rains will likely last through at least mid-morning. Then we'll work on the afternoon, and it looks like sunny skies are certainly possible tomorrow afternoon, and that would knock high temperatures into the upper 80s across the area with south winds. So this is the GFS model, and it certainly supports the rain overnight. You can see 3:55 a.m. showers and storms over our area. Then we get a break in the afternoon. More rain coming up Wednesday. And then as we head towards Thursday, here comes that front with a round of rain. And then by Friday, we start drying out by the afternoon. Now, the European is much wetter, but the European doesn't bring any, the European model, everybody talks about the European. It's always notoriously wet. Well, right now it says, what storms out in West Texas? It doesn't bring anything in overnight, and it doesn't bring any rain in until tomorrow afternoon. I don't agree with that. We're already seeing the high-res. Every one of the high-res models say that's not going to be the case. It's going to be a wet night. As you can see on Wednesday, more rain and on Thursday or Wednesday, a couple rounds there, and then on Thursday. So this is overdone, I think, but you can see the front coming through. It looks like Friday afternoon and Saturday looking pretty good at this time if you've got any outdoor plants. So as we take a look at the weather impact 7-day forecast, again, we've got that 50% mainly in the morning Tuesday, and then more rain and thunderstorm activity coming up on Wednesday, and another round on Thursday. So fairly active, fairly wet pattern. We've seen heavier rains. And then Friday I went with a 30% coverage, mainly in the morning because of the potential of that front generating a few showers and storms. But this activity, this 50, 70, and 50, that's because of these disturbances translating across Texas and causing lift in the atmosphere. Now, I do like the Europeans' amount of rainfall that it's dropping. I think the GFS is too dry. I think 1 to 2, maybe 3 inches, pretty likely through Friday. Certainly higher amounts are possible across southeast Texas through Friday. Regardless, that is going to be ending, as we said, Friday afternoon and Saturday with the front. Look at the front turning the winds to the north. Now, it's not a strong front. It's not going to last very long, but some of that dry air comes in on Saturday. So look at the lows dropping into the upper 60s and highs in the mid to upper 80s. And again, clouds kick up because of that one disturbance and a 10% coverage of showers across southeast Texas. Otherwise, let me back up and go through that a little bit again because I wanted to point out a couple things on the forecast across southeast Texas. And again, the weather headlines showing those overnight storms. Active weather is expected Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. A weak front early Friday morning, and then drier weather coming up this weekend. We'll just move along here and show you a couple things as we get closer to the forecast pages. That's the rains that fell this morning. And again, it's all about what this activity does into central Texas. Let me go a little closer, but again, it's promising that we're getting the activity over into the Dallas-Fort Worth area in a line trying to develop along with this one supercell, and that all extends back over towards San Angelo. Boy, remember the supercell that moved through southeast Texas producing that EF3 tornado in Port Arthur? Similar situation. Look at the line. Look how those hail reports everywhere that supercell has gone, and even a tornado has been spun up, or at least a funnel cloud, as that continues to head to the southeast. You can see the rotation on it. Okay, this should weaken as it heads to the south and east and forms a line. Regardless, grapefruit size hail, 5.9 inch diameter hail. That's big. That's bigger than baseball. Grapefruit size hail. That will certainly go through your roof, and that will certainly go through windshields, no doubt about that. Otherwise, this will now go to modeling, and this is just done a beautiful job showing the initialization, and that line of showers and storms comes through after about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Again, 1 to 2 inches possible, probably 1 maybe 2 inches, because it's going to be moving pretty quickly. Otherwise, the rains will likely last through the morning hours, and then with some sun in the afternoon, we'll knock temperatures up close to 89, 90 degrees. And again, disturbances coming in from the west. There's one right there. Another disturbance coming over our area as we head towards Wednesday, and even on Friday morning. Here comes that front pushing through the area. So our forecast for tonight, we'll go with an 80.